UAP are airborne objects that, when encountered, cannot be immediately identified. With regard to the importance of transparency, the Department is fully committed to the principle of openness and accountability to the American people.
We're going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Oh my gosh, dude.
U.S. Navy personnel recorded what appears to be triangles, some flashing. The video was taken through night vision goggles with a single lens reflex camera.
Well, I would say, it's a pretty high-profile incident. I don't claim to be an expert. You're the guys investigating it. I mean, who else is doing it?
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. This is UFO. We want to know. Before I begin my show, as I always do, this is dedicated to those who have been ridiculed, made fun of, and dragged through the media for the last 76 plus years. And I'm sure that will continue on happening. But for those of you like me, I'll keep on with what I'm doing here for the show. And if the government wants to ridicule me, they can have at it. Today's first two segments, we're going to be talking about crop circles. So let's begin with a slideshow. What do we know about crop circles? Well, that's an interesting question because a lot of people are not involved with crop circles, but there is an army of researchers that are involved. So let's go to the first photo. And I'm going to be showing you 15 photos of crop circles, and I'm sure that many people have seen these before. There's nothing new about them. But I've gone through probably maybe 250 crop circles. You know, they say when you look at something, they all seem to look the same. Well, in the crop circle world, that doesn't really happen because there's all kinds of shapes and sizes. And I can tell you that over the years, they've become more intricate. Next photo. A lot of them have geometric form, a lot of mathematics involved, and such as pi. And, you know, human beings are just not capable of doing this. Next photo. Do you think for 1 minute that a human being, or maybe 3 or 4 human beings, can go in the middle of the night, because that's when these crop circles are made, and make this type of formation in the dark, even with night vision glasses? Human beings do not have the orientation in their minds to duplicate this. It's an impossibility. Now, that's coming from me, and I'm not a scientist, but then again, the bulk of the people who look at these crop circles are not scientists. They're just plain researchers, a hobbyist, get involved with this type of phenomenon. Next photo. Take a look at this. Now, how would a human being do this without stepping all over the crops? That in itself should tell you an awful lot about crop circles. These are not made by human beings. Next photo. Take a look at that. Now there's 2 of these that are the same, but they're in different angles, and I wanted you to get both angles of it. But take a look at the intricacy of these crop circles. This looks like it was stamped, but of course this is an aerial view of a crop circle, very high in the air. This was approximately 300 to 400 feet in the air when it was taken. And a lot of them are taken by drones nowadays, not by airplanes. In the old days, say in the 70s and 80s, they were taken by biplanes, and they didn't get the sharp image you can get today with these new high-resolution cameras on these drones that we have. Next photo. And as you can see, there's no footprints around the area. Surely this field here has not been gone over yet. It's clearly circled in shape, but it has this design which indicates something significant that we have not been able to either figure out or even replicate when we ask the so-called people who make these crop circles to duplicate it. They can't even come close to doing it. For one thing, there's mathematics involved, and they simply can't figure out how to do that. You could be a mathematician, and I'm sure there's no mathematician out there who'd want to go stomp on a bunch of wheat or barley or whatever the fields would be. But I have to say that these incredible formations are intelligently designed and made. Next photo. Kind of looks like a fan, doesn't it? A kind of a mirror fan. You got a light side and a dark side. Looks like you can close it and it would mirror itself. But here's the significant thing about these crop circles. They're made at night, dark, okay? And a lot of people say, well, people are not going to come out and say they made it because they don't want to get blamed for the ruining of the crops. But there's more than just ruining some crops. If you can make this kind of design out there, then you're a sheer genius in my mind. Because doing it at night is one thing. Figuring out how to lay this type of formation is a whole different ball game. And there's nobody that's come close to even saying how it was done. Using a board with rope, I mean, you might as well, I don't know, I can't even fathom somebody being so ignorant to say that. Now, there has been a couple of people that have shown how they've made crop circles, but those crop circles are not even close to being as intricate as these. They use a board and rope and they smash them down, which is another problem. In the next segment, we're going to talk about that. But for the gentlemen who claim that they made all these crop circles, two in particular ones claimed that they had made them all over the world. Well, the data does not agree with that because they never left the UK. And there was crop circles in the United States and in Australia. About 95% of all crop circles are made in basically those three countries, UK, the US, and Australia. Now, there have been found crop circles all over the world, including Russia, China, but not as frequent as the first three countries. And there could be something connecting those three countries. And I'm not talking about the language, I'm simply talking about the ability to maybe understand the crop circles. And I'm not saying the other countries are just plain dumb, they can't figure it out. I'm sure that we have figured out some of them, but not all of them. And in some cases where the government has sent out golden records into space, just in case a intelligent civilization was to come upon it, it gave them an indication who we are, where we are, what we were made of, and we'll get into that in the second segment. But it's interesting to note that when these so-called crop circlists were making these circles, they weren't circles, they were terribly shaped. The straight lines were not straight, they were crooked, which tells you that a human being in the dark, you're disorientated and your brain can't comprehend straight or roundness. Even though they use a rope to follow it, it still does not come out the same. And we'll get into that, as I said, in the next segment, and I'll show you the difference between a man-made or woman-made crop circle and a crop circle from another civilization, which I think it is. Next photo. Just another one. A mirror shape. You can bend this and it would probably mirror itself. Next photo. Take a look at this. It gives you, when you look at it, the illusion that there is some deep setting holes in here. But again, that's the illusion. Could a human being possibly do this at night? No footprints. Now, they say they follow those lines. You see the lines going up and down throughout the picture there? They say they follow those lines and they don't step on it, so they don't show their footprints. But here's the issue with that. To jump to another circle, they're going to have to go back and then go back into that circle. There's no proof that there was any vehicles where they dropped them off, where they walked, where they carried their equipment to make these formations. Simply doesn't, the evidence is not there. Next photo. Look how incredibly intricate that one is. How can they say that these are humanly made? I'd like for people out there, if you have any questions about it, let me know at UFO we want to know at gmail.com. Let me know your thoughts. Next photo. Another one. These are beautiful. And you can see in the center of it, there are people standing there. This gives you an idea how big these crop circles are. Take a look at the size of this crop circle in comparison to the people walking around in there. Just a tremendously huge crop circle. Next photo. And you've seen this one earlier. I just did another view of it. It's more of a side view. The other one was nearly straight up. But it gives you an idea that these crop circles here it couldn't possibly be made by humans. These were made by some type of drones that I believe made these. And I'll show that in the next segment, what I think they were made, how they were made. Next photo. Kind of interesting, isn't it? You got a box within a circle, and then you got some planetary objects around it. So interesting. Now let's go to the next photo and we'll talk a little bit about in 1678 where the first mention of crop circles came from. And next photo. And it came from this little guy down there, and they called this little guy here, and I'm sure you've seen it, the mowing devil. And this was, you know, we're talking hundreds of years ago when the first crop circle was made. The little mow devil was named when a gentleman asked one of the laborers to mow his field, and he said that he swore that he'd rather have the devil mow it instead, and that's how he got the name. That's quite interesting in itself. Of course, he's got a scythe with him, and that's usually for cutting things off. And we'll get into that when we come back. We'll be back after this message.
Hi, I'm Joseph, the host and creator of UFO We Want to Know. Tune in every Saturday evening on KPVM Pahrump Channel 25.1 from 7 p.m. You'll see never-before-viewed videos and photos taken by myself, all over the world.
Thank you for watching. UFO We Want to Know, and remember, yes, they are out there.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. On this one here, I got a lot of crop circles to show you and some data, so let's get on with the first photo. Okay, I'm sure that many of you who watched the takeoff of the rockets in whether it be Florida or Cape Canaveral or in Texas and even California, you'll notice that here at Pioneer 10 and Pioneer 11, we start sending out messages into the cosmos. Next photo. And then we also had a golden record that gave an indication to a intelligent civilization out there who may come upon it. Just exactly who we are and where we're located. Next photo. It was in a golden record, and the spacecraft, we're talking in the 70s here, and it gave you an idea of what we were all about. There was some sounds on it in different languages, different photos, birds, planes, whatever, and it was just an interesting time that I believe that NASA at that time was really interested in being contacted. Next photo. This is one of the images that was sent out. As you can see, it told a lot about who we are. There are some binary codes involved here. You can see near the middle bottom, there's a humanoid, which shows man, and the bottom of that is the aerospace, the radio telescope in Puerto Rico. And it basically tells that we're carbon-based. Next photo. You can read along there, but it basically indicates different areas. There's actually 7 different sequence is here that you can read for yourself. And it was really well done. But if you look at this one here, this was a returned crop circle. And if you look to the right, you'll see that's not the one we sent out. It's the one we received some years later on. And it shows a little alien guy with a large head and a little body. And they were not carbon-based. They were silicon-based. And on the bottom, you can see this was their array, a lot more sophisticated than the radio telescope that we sent them. So I believe this was a return message from that first one that we sent out to them years later. Next photo. Remember, this was the one we sent out to them, and 40 years prior to when we received that message. And it was received in England, by the way. Next photo. More information on it. There's a breakdown. Scientists went crazy trying to break down this, the first image to how they were going to explain to a civilization out there what we were all about. Next photo. As you can see, they're comparing the two, and you can see on the right and near the middle, rather, it's a large, and then to the left you got a small being, and the differences in what they perceive from us to them, and back and forth. But to let you know that to the left, near the middle left, that was an actual crop circle. That was not a message board sent to us. It was actually a crop circle. Next photo. The radio telescope near where the receiver received that one that was sent back to us in 2001. Next photo. And there was a lot of binary information on it, and this is what the binary message was. You can read it for yourself. Incredible information. Just a whole lot of information sent out. Next photo. And this is what the crop circle actually looked like. And next photo. Again, the picture just gives you an idea of the observatory that received it. It wasn't very far from this observatory. Next photo. There's the two together. And you can find this on the internet. You can read it for yourself in your leisure. And it's awesome binary code information that was sent back. And I think that if anybody's interested in crop circle, they should look at this. Next photo. Take a look at these two images here. This was sent over again, and this is a message that was given. Now this was a binary, if you look to the complete right, that circle, that's a binary code message, and this is what it said. Next photo. Close-up of it. I don't have to read it. You can read it on your own, at your own time here. I'm just trying to get through to all these photos. Next photo. Binary codes. And binary codes are usually zeros and ones, but there is a way to read them like you would read a book. Next photo. And the next photo. And I show this particular one here because in the storyline it's so important for you to understand that these beings want you to know they are out there. Next photo. Pretty similar from what the moonshot photos to these. You have your moonshot to the right, and in the middle you got a crop circle. It looks very similar to that, doesn't it? Next photo. And it gives you an idea how large it was. Look at the houses and the buildings to the right, and you see how big that crop circle is. It makes those buildings look very small, doesn't it? But this gives you an idea how large these crop circles actually are. Next photo. The scientific world got involved, is still involved with it, and they're trying to figure out how these, whether it be barley or wheat, have been bent over. So let's take a look at the next photo. Okay, man cannot do this. In the elbows of these wheat, whether it be wheat or barley or plants, the stems seem to be blown out, And that's something that a man can't do if you stand on a board with a string and bend it over. It will not do this. And they're finding, next photo, they're finding that they're exploding from the inside out. That's where they bend. You simply can't do this by stepping on it with a board. Next photo. Take a look at these. These were blown out. Next photo. Close above it. And they believe that there is a reason for that. Next photo. That's because there is some radiation involved. Now, if you want to talk about what type of radiation, there's gamma rays, X-rays, radiation, and alpha particles. Okay, so which one is it? But here's the most important thing, that if a human being steps on a crop circle, some crops, and they step on it, that's not going to shoot out radiation in any sense of the word, unless you're not from this planet. And I believe that they're finding radiation in these crop circles, whether it be barley, wheat, or plant life. I believe that it's shooting within the craft when it comes down on the crop circles, and I believe that there is a kind of radiation. And in conclusion to the radiation part, our scientists are just guessing. They're just guessing. Now, they've taken meters out to these crop circles, and they have found radiation out there, but it may not be the type of radiation that we are comfortable with or we have knowledge of. They're just beginning to really unravel a lot of this information. Next photo. There was a film that a gentleman took, and he was dead set in trying to find out who is actually making crop circles in his field. Well, he set up a camera, and these two objects you'll see circled here were circling around this field, and this appeared before the camera's eye. Okay, there was nobody standing out there, no human being with boards and ropes standing out there stopping this. It appeared right in the middle of his videotaping, and it proves, at least in my mind, that these two orbs here intelligently did this. Now, there have been some people in the past who said they came across a UFO. They said there was an orb that came down close to them, and they had radiation damage done to them. Their fingernails fell out, their hair fell out. They had these large wart-sized appendages on their faces, their arms, wherever it may, they had them, and some of them they had even grid patterns on their body. So how does that happen? Well, that is a form of X-ray or gamma ray or some type of radiation, and some of it we don't even know what type of gamma or radiation was involved because we can't treat it. If a doctor actually can't treat radiation burn. Remember, after World War II, we had two cities that were bombed. And the Japanese government, along with the American government, and I believe the British government, were involved in trying to figure out the kind of damage done to these people when they were bombed. And for years and years and years, they kept dying. We're talking 20, 30 years they were dying of this radiation poisoning. But the radiation poisoning in 1945 is different from the radiation poisoning that they get from these craft, such as the three individuals in Texas that were shot with some radiation from a ship that was spewing out some kind of lava on the bottom of the craft. They still don't know how those people were affected by it when the lava didn't even touch them. It was just the heat from whatever was coming out of that ship that affected those two individuals. So just, getting an understanding of how these orbs, UFOs, these intelligent beings are making these crop circles, how they're doing it, we don't know. We're guessing. But we do know that they are not man-made, but there is a message. In the next photo. And the message could be a completely innocent one, or it could be maybe a message of doom. We don't know. But I believe that these intelligent beings are trying to tell us something. They're trying to tell us about the nuclear proliferation, the threat of nuclear war itself, and how dangerous it is. Nobody wants to die like the people who were in Nagasaki and in Japan, in Hiroshima. Nobody wants to die like that. When you have these dictators around the world threatening nuclear war, we have to take that seriously. These are mad people, and they're not sane. Nobody wants to die from nuclear fallout, believe me. I've seen a lot of the World War II videos, and they're scary to watch, but they're true. We'll be back after this message for the third and fourth segment.
Hi, I'm Joseph, the host and creator of UFO We Want to Know. Tune in every Saturday evening on KPVM Pahrump Channel 25.1 from 7 p.m. You'll see never-before-viewed videos and photos taken by myself, all over the world.
Thank you for watching. UFO, we want to know and remember, yes, they are out there.
Thank you for staying with us. I got 13 photos and 2 videos to show you, and I hope that you got something out of the first 2 segments. I'm not an expert on crop circles, even though I've been studying for over 20 years. I thought that would be an interesting subject to bring up for the first 2 segments. So let's go on for the first photo. And what you're seeing here is a UFO that was flying through the sun, and I didn't take a video of this. Excuse me, I didn't put the video on there. I wanted to show you the pictures, and the reason why is because this UFO was traveling so fast, and it was spinning. Now, I put it on my ×40 magnifier, and I got to see some unusual things on this particular UFO. It seemed to be spewing out some kind of electrical charge from it. Right, left, it actually turned a darker color as it was zooming by. I had to watch it, but if I showed you the video, we'd have to slow it down by 90%. And in today's videos, I'm going to show you several of these UFOs that we actually had to slow down anywhere from 50 to 90%, because if not, it just looks like a ball going through the air. And we try to give you some kind of visualization of what these craft are actually doing. So let's go to the next photo. It's the same UFO. And then the next photo. It's the same UFO, but it was moving. So the next picture I'm going to show you here is what we found in all 3 of those shots. This is the exact same UFO, tumbling, spinning, shooting out different rays, going through our atmosphere. Take a look at this. This is the same craft, and look at the different shapes and sizes of this craft. On the one on the left, I told you it turned a little dark. That's when I got that one. The one in the middle, where it was kind of spewing out some kind of electromagnetic charge on the top. The shape of this craft is completely unknown to me, because you have to guess. We don't know. But to let you know, these craft are flying so fast that they actually change shape, shape-shifting, whatever you want to call it. If they are shape-shifting in the air, they do that very low to the ground also. There have been videos and photos of these craft turning different shapes and sizes when they're real low to the ground. So it's not just in the air where I catch them. Next, let's go to the first video. And I want you to take a look at this very interesting UFO. Now, a lot of people say, well, you know, they look the same to me. You got this white object coming down. But it's what I find when I do my analysis on this that are so interesting. Taken on March 5th at 12:32 p.m., this UFO was a diamond-shaped UFO. And I took several stock images of it, and I would say 99% of them, they looked diamond-shaped. You can see that just coming. Now, it's not going down to Earth. This is going across the sky. I want to make that clear here. When I point the video cameras in the air, like I said, it was taken at 12:32 in the afternoon. So The sun is up in the sky, so it's not exactly straight up, but it's up in the sky this time of year. And when I'm taking this, it's just streaking across the sky. This will be the last loop, and we'll go into the first picture there. But it shows you that this craft was traveling. Now, we slowed this down about 60%. Because if we just let it go at the regular speed, it just darts on by and there's really nothing to see. This is a darker image. I darkened the back so you can actually see what it looked like. As I said, to me it was diamond shaped. Next photo. And it's incredible because I didn't change the shape of it when I was looking at through the magnifier when it was on the video. This is what it looked like. And that's the beauty of being able to see it through a magnifier, even though it's on video. And then I stop it on the video, and this is the shape I saw. So you're seeing what I see when I magnify it. Next photo. It's a larger part of it. And as I went through my software, I started to try to use different types of signatures on my software to see if I could maybe get that shape, if I can get maybe an inner part of that shape. Because sometimes when you do that, you can actually see a design within the outer part of the UFO. Next photo. As you can see what I'm talking about here, it looks like we got a cube in there, a square. But if you discount on the left, that lighter part, you get rid of your diamond shape, don't you? You get just a square box. And the last photo, you can see what I mean by that. And like other photos I've shown you, there seems to be 4 circles within the square there. Last week, I believe I showed you 2 pictures just like this. And it could be my sequence in my software. I'm just guessing. Let's go to the next video. Here's an interesting video. We had to slow down quite a bit. If you look at the arrow when we first did this, the arrow showed a UFO already on the screen, and then it disappears, and then a second one goes right to the exact same area as the one that was there in the beginning. That was this one you're seeing. And at the end of this video, this one is going to go to the right and another one is going to come down. And we slowed it down 90% so we can capture this UFO coming down. You see that? Now we're re-looping it again. There's the first one, and you're going to see it disappear, and then the other one comes and takes its place. So this one starts to move off. So the first one is very, very fast, split second. That's where the arrow is at. This one's now leaving. And again, we slowed it down, because if you don't slow it down, you're not going to catch what I'm trying to explain to you. They're simply just too fast. And then we went back to almost normal speed so we could speed it up, and you can see it take off, and then the last one comes down. So there was actually 3 UFOs in this one. Did you see it disappear before this one appeared? It's incredible how these UFOs interact with each other. This will be the last loop, and we'll go on to the photos. And again, I want to reiterate this to people. I videotape the sun quite a bit, and I don't use a filter. Now, I want to make this very clear. I would advise you to use a filter if you take photos of the sun. And certainly, please do not look at the sun, even though through the viewfinder, don't look at the sun. It will damage your retinas. It's something that I can't stress enough. I do it because I don't look at the sun. I point my cameras at it from a distance, and then I take my shots. This is what you were looking at here. This was the UFO that you were watching. And we just basically took one of them to give you an idea of the shape of this particular UFO. Next photo, close-up of it. And the neatness about this UFO here is this is the one that showed up, the second one that was started to go up, upper right, and it looked like the leading edge would be the left side, but it wasn't. It was the right side, but it was going up. So again, aerodynamics does not play into our atmosphere as far as these incredible vehicles. They don't need aerodynamics. I've said that a million times. And I've also said a million times, they don't touch our atmosphere. And I explained that last week as best I could. They're within our atmosphere. And I'll talk a little bit about our atmosphere as we go on through these videos here. But all I want to say about this incredible craft here is I can't tell you how fast it was going. I really couldn't judge anything. I know in the past I've been saying they were going Mach 200 here and there, and I got a little bit of backlash on it, but I sensationalize things that I think are true, in my mind at least. And if you differ from it, that's okay. Everybody has a right to believe what they believe in. Next photo. As you can see, the leading edge was on the right, upper right side, and there's a little bit of a ball there on the top. Whether that is, I don't know, whether that is their craft, the thickness of the craft. If you look at the other side of it, it seems to be leaving a little bit of exhaust out there. Again, we don't know because we're not up there. I'm sure that scientists, and I am sure of this, I'm sure that our scientists have been looking at these craft. I am most positive that they know things that I don't know, of course. And as long as I've been studying this phenomenon, I don't think I'll ever get to second base with it. I'm going to keep saying what I'm saying. As long as I keep capturing these craft going through our atmosphere, I can only give you so much information. Now, I do look at the data from NASA and other scientists around the world and what they perceive this information that I give you to be. Whether it's right or wrong, we're all guessing right now. Unless we have a disclosure on it, we're never going to know. And the last photo, this is a blow up of it, and of course you can see everything a little bit more clear here. But you can actually see the shape of this craft here. If you take the fuzziness off, it gives you kind of an indicator of what this craft actually looked like. For those people who see these photos and think, well, Joseph, that could be anything, really. These craft are flying through our atmosphere. And whether or not you believe them to be real or not, I get these every single day. And I'm noticing on more and more videos around the world, people are putting up videos pretty close to what I'm showing you here. I actually seen a video that I thought was mine. It was a short, but I thought it was mine, and this isn't mine. It was taken in Germany. And there was a couple from France that were taken, and they're doing the same thing. I'm sure they weren't watching this show because this show doesn't get that far out, but a lot of these videos that I'm seeing, they're showing pretty similar to what I'm showing. And I hope people keep doing that, because the more these videos and photos that are out there, the better we can get some clarification. I'm not the only one doing it. There are a lot of people that are doing this, and now they're starting to air these photos and videos, and I'm so glad that they're doing that, because I don't want you to think I'm the only one. Well, Joseph, this is CGI or whatever. We'll be back after this message.
Hi, I'm Joseph, the host and creator of UFO We Want to Know. Tune in every Saturday evening on KPVM Pahrump Channel 25.1 from 7 p.m. You'll see never-before-viewed videos and photos taken by myself, all over the world.
Thank you for watching. UFO, we want to know, and remember, yes, they are out there.
Welcome back for the last segment. I have 16 photos and 3 videos to show you. So let's get on with the first video. What do we got here? We got an arrow, okay? And in the arrow, what you're seeing here is a UFO that's made an abrupt right-hand turn. Now, we had to slow this one down by 50% in order for you to get the actual turn of this UFO. When we sped it up, when we left it, at the full speed, it just did a real quick loop. But this UFO, it made an abrupt right-hand turn. UFOs, using the incredible magnetic field that they have within the craft, they are able to do this. If this was a jet, one of our jets, it's an impossibility for it to make a move like this, because you would simply have the pilot smashed against the cockpit of the airplane if it didn't dissolve in the air. So by slowing it down, it seemed like it was there for a long time. But take a look at this loop. That's when we had to slow it down, because it just took off. And for any aerospace engineer out there to see something move that fast. Now remember, this was taken here in super slow motion. And by taking in super slow motion, you only get 17 seconds of it. And by slowing it down, we spread it out a little bit. But this craft here lasted a split 1.5 seconds. But we're slowing it down for you so you can actually see it. This UFO made an abrupt right-hand turn in our atmosphere. I know the government doesn't like me to say that, but I'm going to say it anyway. And we'll do one more loop after this, and then we'll get to the actual photos of what this craft actually looked like. Now, while it was making its turn, I actually did 3 stop motions on it. And you're going to see the difference in not only color, but shape of this UFO. The shape changed abruptly, but not a lot. But you can still see the changes in the 3 different photos. So I've got 2 of each. And I didn't want to bore you with a tiny little speck, so I went from nearly the last one to the last one on it. So I actually show you the 2 largest of each one, each set, and there'll be a total of 6. Now this one here was near when it made the turn itself. You can see it turn at this point in time. That's a turning motion right there. Next photo, a large of it. And you can see a ring around it, brown ring around it. That was kind of unique, because I usually don't get the brown ring around it. I usually get a blue ring around it. And you can see light all the way around it. I think that's the protective shield. Next photo. This is when it was making its turn itself, when it completed, I should say. And as you can see, it's got a little teardrop in the very bottom of it. Maybe that was the force of the turn itself. Who knows? Next photo. Larger of it. And you can see there's some reverberation all around the craft, especially on the bottom where it was making that turn. The very bottom, looked like the brunt. And in human thinking, you would think it'd be the other way around. It'd be on the top. But this is on the bottom. Next photo. And this, when it completed, it started to move real slow. As we slowed it down, it started to move away. It got rid of a lot of the different shapes to it. Next photo. And that's the largest of it, of the 2 shots. And you can see it got rid of the brown, but it incredibly, it showed some kind of magnetic field around it, the 2 dark areas on both sides of it. This was traveling from right to left. And let's go to the next video. And what you're seeing here is a UFO appearing. It actually appeared 26 seconds to the left of the video, going right. So it was actually traveling south from my position. And we got rid of 26 seconds of the video because it was a minute, 7 seconds, which if you've seen my shows, that means this was taken in slow motion, not super slow motion. Super slow motion, I get 17 seconds. And in slow motion, I can get anywhere from 5 seconds to 10 minutes. It depends on how long I want to stay there aiming the camera. But you can see this object was doing some erratic moving when it was traveling. This was not traveling a straight line. Take a look at this UFO. It seemed to be bouncing up and down. Now, I took it on my times 40 magnifier, to see if I can see a bird flapping its wings. This bird would have to be going in the Mach range. And again, I'm throwing that Mach out there because this video was slowed down by 70%. What do you think this is? Let me know at UFO@gmail.com. Please let me know what you think this is. Now, when you see this, this will be the last loop here. When you see the very end, well, it's going up and down, that was not flapping any wings. I was looking at this very meticulously. As an analyst for nearly 25 years, I know exactly what I'm looking for when I'm trying to find something, and I'm trying to find a bird. I'm trying to find a raven or a blackbird flying in the area, flapping its wings, and only a bird will only go up and down like that when it's flapping its wings, and when it's gliding, it will not go up and down like that. But this was showing no signs of any kind of flapping of a wing. Now, we cut this out on purpose. There was actually a jet flying in the same area of that UFO. And the reason why we cut it out is because that's how close that we got. You see how close they are here? Well, that's a very, very far away picture. And we zoomed in to get that UFO because you wouldn't be able to see the jet and the UFO in the same photo. So that's why you're seeing what you're seeing here. Next photo. There's the object there that you were seeing going through the air. Next photo. Does that look like a bird? If it is, it's facing the wrong direction. That would look like it was going up or down. This one was going from left to right. And again, it was going extremely fast. To slow it down as much as we slowed it down here in the studio, this object does not have aerodynamics involved here because a flat surface was going from left to right. It was hitting that flat surface. Next photo. Larger image of it, and I got one more to show you, and that was this one here. And I give you a pretty good idea. There's no shape in there you would see a bird. If you're trying to convince me that I saw a blackbird or a raven, there's nothing here that can give me an indication of that. Now, I have taken pictures, and I've showed you in the past, of blackbirds flying through our area. I've even showed you hawks flying through the area. And when I use the software, the same exact software we're using, you don't get the outer ring that we get on a lot of these craft. Now, I lightened this one up quite a bit because I was dead set and trying to find some indication that it was a bird. I fought it all the way, and this is the end results of that. So just to give you an idea of our atmosphere itself, Earth's atmosphere is so much more than just air that we breathe. A trip from the surface of the Earth to the outer space would result in passing through 5 different layers, each with very different characteristics. That just goes to show you that when we breathe the air we breathe today, we simply think, oh, it's just air, but it's not. There are different layers in our atmosphere going out into outer space. So that should be also another indication why birds only fly so high and they stay away from clouds. We all know why they stay away from clouds. They get their feathers wet, they'll fall straight to the ground. They're not stupid. Let's go to the next video. Now, what do we see here? This is a controversial one here because I've had many people. As a matter of fact, I was in Tivoli Village last weekend, and I had a gentleman tell me that he thinks I'm capturing just a lot of high-flying jet aircraft. Now, I've caught many jet aircraft flying, many, and I'm talking about hundreds. And when I zoom in, I usually get an airfoil. I usually get either the wings, the tail, a fuselage. But on this one here, I want to take a look at this. I want you to see it for yourself. And write me in and let me know what you think I've caught. Next video, next photo. Take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This UFO, and I'm going to call it a UFO, not an airplane or a jet, was not that far away from me. You saw the video. It wasn't that far away. I've taken aircraft that are really, really high in the air. And you can barely see just a gloss, a little glowing thing in the air. And I've actually seen wings, but not in this one. Next photo. As I get closer, take a look at this. And take a look at the chemtrail it leaves behind. Very unusual. Now, if it's a jet aircraft, why isn't it leaving 2 or 4 chemtrails? This is just one solid one. It isn't a rocket because it's not shaped like a rocket. It's more shaped like a UFO would be shaped. Next photo. Here, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to isolate the chemtrail here that's leaving behind. And I don't believe that's a chemtrail. I believe that's a cold air. It was very cold that day. And on that day, I believe it was something like 42 degrees. And as you go higher and higher in the atmosphere, of course, it gets colder. So who knows what temperature it was when it was traversing our atmosphere. Next photo. Gives you a little indication here. There's no wing. There's no tail. There's no fuselage. Unless you want to call this shape the fuselage. This is what was flying in our atmosphere. Last photo. Please write in. Let me know what you think this is. And I've caught many of them, and I've showed many of these to you on my shows. And I'm going to keep showing you because they're flying in and out of Pahrump all the time. And I want to show you, I'll tell you next week, I caught UFOs just standing there in front of people, and people came up behind me and were watching me videotape. So I'm going to be showing that on an upcoming video. And that was taken at Tractor Supply here every Saturday in Pahrump. I'm there, and you can come out and you can visit me there. I appreciate the people I talked to at Tivoli Village. They were very nice to me. A lot of conversation about UFOs. And I hope to bring you videos and photos of those in upcoming videos. I want to thank you for joining me, and have a great, great weekend. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joseph, the host and creator of UFO We Want to Know. Tune in every Saturday evening on KPVM Pahrump channel 25.1 from 7 p.m. You'll see never-before-viewed videos and photos taken by myself, all over the world.
Thank you for watching. UFO, we want to know and remember, yes, they are out there.